Hey folks, back in the shop here. It's been a while since I've done an update. It's been probably about 6 months or so. I think today's December 3rd. So I just want to kind of give you a quick look at where things are. But before I do, just wanted to talk about a little tip here when you're doing a build or a restoration or something for any of the younger viewers out there. It's important to keep yourself organized. And so as I've been taking stuff apart here on the truck, I've just been labeling and bagging things, trying to keep all the parts, together and somewhat organized. So when you go to start putting everything back together, you know where things are. I'm sure I'll end up, probably throwing a lot of these parts away ultimately, but really want to do that after you've got your build completed. Just a quick tip there. All right, so just to give you an update here, we've got the body off the Willys and set it down on the frame. We've been doing some cutting, trying to get everything fit on. I'm going to do some kind of specific videos on how we're getting this thing fit down on the frame, on the chassis nicely, but we'll cover that later. But just give you a quick look here. Just to kind of give you an idea of how this thing is fitting. It's fitting really, really well. Really happy with how it's coming down on the chassis. Kind of looking at the front here where these frame rails are going to come out from under the fenders. I'm going to get the body all the way down to where that's nearly touching. There's a mount in the front here. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but this is on the obviously the original TJ chassis with a front radiator support mounted here. There's a similar mount. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video here, but there's a very similar body mount hole right there, and those are lining up just perfectly. So I'll use that existing body mount there. Looking in the engine bay here, I've had to do a good bit of cutting in the firewall. I have to do some more cutting to get that recessed, reestablish that firewall. Obviously I have to make some space for fitting the radiator. That's certainly farther down the road. Because I have done the tummy tuck or the flat transfer case skid plate, the engine and the transmission transfer case is much higher than it was originally. So I'm gonna have to cut into this, rebuild the transmission tunnel and everything. I'm hoping I'll be able to keep this flat, but I may need to cut into this a little bit to clearance for the transfer case, which is right there, you can see. All right, so back in the back here, and looking kind of how the frame rail comes up into the bed. I've seen some guys, a couple guys actually that have done these frame swaps with the TJ frames, cut into the frame bin right here to allow this to clear. Hopefully you can see that. To allow this to clear, they've cut into the frame and actually welded a flat piece of angle iron on the inside there. I really don't want to cut into the frame if I can avoid it to do that. So I'm going to do some fab work here in the body to make this contour match the frame a little bit better. We'll do a separate video just on that alone, because I think that's going to be a good solution for getting this body contour to match. And so we'll cover that at some other point. Again, cutting in here and changing this to allow that to clearance. And then in the very back, I'll probably cut into the frame here somewhere and then bring it straight back under here, so it this rear cross member with a bumper and everything will ultimately mount will be up under this roll pan, rear splash pan, whatever you call that, on the back of this. And then hopefully we'll have a lot more space under there for a bigger fuel cell, ultimately, because I like to put a larger capacity fuel cell in here if possible. We've got the glass all out, all the interior out, and making some progress here. So the next thing is going to be getting the body, fit, getting enough cut out to where we can get it set down to where it's going to live, and then getting all my body mounts fabbed up, welded onto the frame, so then they will be united once and for all. But really happy with how it's coming together. Again, it should be probably a couple inches lower in the front, probably about 3 inches lower in the back. But I think the stance is going to be pretty sweet. Pretty happy with how it's looking. All right, so that's a quick update of where things are going. If you got any questions or anything about anything specifically, just put it down in the comments. I'd be happy to address those things the best I can. The next episode will be the fab work back here in the rear fender, because again, I think that's going to be useful for any y'all that are using the TJ or LJ frames to do these swaps with the old Willys station wagons. That might be useful to you. The other thing I'll say is I know some folks have used the LJ frame, which is basically exactly 10 inches longer than a TJ frame, and that's what my original plan was as well, was to use an LJ frame, but I couldn't find one. So ended up finding a TJ frame, and then I lengthened it. If you remember from the previous episodes, I put 13 inches in it, and the way the way that the wheelbase is coming out, I think I'm going to be much happier having that extra 3 inches, because it pushes the front wheel just a little bit farther out from the body, and I think centers it very nicely in the front fender. So I'm very happy that Mike and I I picked Mike's brain quite extensively, and just looking at the build and trying to get the dimensions and the measurements correct. And so we ended up settling on 13 inches, and I'm super happy that we did that, instead of just putting the straight 10 inches in there like the LJ frame, because I really like the way it looks. All right, so that's it for this update. Getting close to Christmas. Hope everyone has a good holiday season, and get out there and get cranking on your projects. Just give you a quick update here on Mike's Bronco. We just rolled this puppy out, 76 Bronco Ranger. We'll be working on this a little bit today, trying to get this fired up. Hasn't run in about 7 or 8 years, but we're going to get going on this and get this thing updated and running and driving, and so Mike can start enjoying this a little bit as well. So pretty stoked about that. We'll do an episode on the Bronco. I'll get Mike to kind of give you some background history and everything on the Bronco, because it's super cool truck. I'm really stoked to get cranking on that. All right, so thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, put some comments in there. If you got any questions or anything, be happy to address that. Oh, before I forget, I want to show you Mike's new toy here. Something he picked up since the last time we've filmed a video. This is a Tesla Y model, Y Performance, I believe. So this is Mike's new toy. this thing is incredible. Before I rode in this Tesla, I think the fastest vehicle I'd ever been in was a Porsche 928S. This thing tops it. This is a rocket ship. Unbelievable. So Mike's been having a lot of fun with that. Pretty cool vehicle, I'll tell you. This thing does everything. It's amazing. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.